It's another day and another example of how my plans got shifted. So it's only 8 something a.m., 8:30 I think. Normally the kids, they get up right around now, but this morning daughter comes down at 7:30, which is when the sun rises. Normally I try to get out here right around between 7:30 and 7:50. We have a bunch of trees on the horizon here, so the exact sunrise is not super useful here because we have to wait for the sun to get up a little bit in order to have light that's not completely in shadow. And this morning daughter comes down at 7:30. She wants breakfast. That's part of our morning routine where I make breakfast for the kids. So yeah, getting out here to the chickens a bit later, which is fine. Just it's another example that life doesn't always go the way we plan. Other things come up later today that totally thrown my daily schedule for a loop. Yesterday I was talking about how really the day is I think the important planning block. I'm sure you've heard take one day at a time, and I think that is literally true. You can have other things going on, you can have the schedule going out for however long you want, but as far as action, there's just today. There are some people out there who think time doesn't exist, and I'm not willing to go that far, but I will say that we only exist at any one point in time. We only have the now. Eckhart Tolle talks about the power of now. Don't get too caught up in the future or in the past. My wife is very past looking. She's very nostalgic. I'm very future oriented, where I have these grand plans of things that we can do because I'm very systems oriented. So I say, okay, we can put into place A, B, and C, and that will achieve result X. And that is fairly true, but I live in my head too much in that future state rather than enjoying the ever-present now. So it's something I'm working on. For people who are past oriented, I think that is probably more risky than being future oriented, because you can definitely get stuck in there. For whatever issues we all have to deal with, we can only go forward. I was actually thinking the other day about, what if we had a time machine? We could go back. Maybe. Depends on which model of time travel you subscribe to, I guess. But if I go back to 2012 and buy that Bitcoin that I was trying to buy back, then maybe that spawns an alternate timeline. Will my subjective experience change? The violation of causality is a fun one to think through. But even if I created a new timeline and that other person, that other copy of myself became a billionaire with Bitcoin, that'd be great for that guy, but I would still be subjectively traveling through my own life and just going forward. Very strange to think about, and so far nobody has figured that out, unsurprisingly. Let's just keep focusing on today and all the things that we need to get done today, all the goals we want to move towards today, because it's not the achievement of goals that really matters for the human brain, it's the progress towards a goal. So right here with my chickens, actually, I made a little bit of progress. I was talking to my buddy Brandon, and he has chickens also, and instead of building a whole shed like I had planned, he actually got one of those portable carport structures, 6 metal poles and a tarp roof, and he just fenced that in and turned that into his chicken coop. So I thought that was pretty brilliant because it's super cheap. So I checked on Harbor Freight. Those kits go for about 150 bucks. I pass by a Harbor Freight about once a week when I take my kids to Girl Scouts, so I'm going to be getting 1, maybe 2 of those, and that will speed my construction plans by a huge margin. I'll set that up, I'll fence them in, and then because we do have to predator proof everything, that's the new plan. That's progress towards a new plan, just adjusting things and bringing forward that timeline. Long-term plan, short-term action on the daily basis. That'll be maybe Saturday or Sunday, can't remember when the next meeting is, but I'll be up there and going to get that. Actually, I'm also planning on buying a new car this weekend. Not sure exactly how much time that'll take, but that goes under the money hacks approach of I'm going to try to do it in one of my corporations. I checked, the company does have a DUNS number. I must have set it up, I don't know, years ago. That was a sticking point, but we got that resolved. Hopefully I'll be able to do a 1-pay lease. That creates, if it's a 3-year lease, it creates 3 years of on-time payments by the fact that you prepay the whole thing. I'll keep you up to date on how that works out. My wife was surprised that I wanted to do a lease because historically we just bought cheap cars for cash, and the cheap cars were fine because we're not car people, don't particularly care about the high-end stuff. But I have come around to focusing on reliability. So I'm buying a Toyota Highlanders is the goal. The problem with Toyota Highlanders, or Toyotas in general, is that because they are so reliable, they retain their resale value well out beyond several years. I was doing some math, figured, okay, I can lease a brand new car for 3 years for about $12,000, and that includes maintenance, and insurance will be whatever it is, gas will be whatever it is, but the cost of ownership on the equipment side is about $4,000 a year. So 4,000 times 3 is 12,000. Okay. Or I can buy a 7-year-old used vehicle, the same model, for about $28,000. If I run that out and say, okay, what's the lifetime of that vehicle? Let's say we keep it 10 years. We kept our last car 10 years. So now 28,000 divided by 10 is obviously $2,800. And then there's maintenance, right? So easily $1,000 a year in maintenance, especially towards the end as the maintenance bills increase. Now we're at to $3,800 a year amortized, and giving up the opportunity cost on $16,000 worth of cash, because from 12 to 28, and we have the hedonic adjustment of a brand new car with all the latest bells and whistles versus a 7-year-old car. Might as well get the new. And that math doesn't work for a lot of cars, but it does work for Toyota Highlanders because the resale value is maintained. Now, you do have to theoretically discount out the residual value at the end of that 10 years, but I actually haven't found much in the way of sale listings that are of that age, because at that point it would be a 17-year-old car. So I'm discounting that to zero at the moment for the purpose of my little analysis here. But yeah, I'll join the leasing crowd. And if it comes out to $4,000 a year, then that's a monthly equivalent of $350 a month in payments, which is lower than average. I think average is up to 5 something now. I haven't looked in a while, but it's high. Yeah, capital equipment is expensive, and that's just where we are. And I know prices are coming down on cars right now because the economy is softening up and used car inventory is building. People are defaulting more on their loans. If I could wait, I would, but our current car is on its last legs. We'll keep it as a backup, but it's definitely not doing well. That's the plan for this weekend. But let's focus on today. So today, I got some appointments and calls with clients, and I have a call with a real estate coach. Yeah, busy day. Talk to you guys later.